everyone, I'm MaryAnn. I'm a voice coach and visual artist from Singapore, currently in Singapore, and welcome to another installment of my weekly vlog series, Find Your Voice. So if you are someone who loves to sing, if you want to improve your self-expression, if you want to overcome shyness or performance anxiety and be able to express yourself freely and authentically, and also get connected to a more authentic side of yourself, well, this is where I share about all these things in my vlog, Find Your Voice. So it's basically whatever I have learned in my journey so far as a singer, as a voice coach, as a singing instructor, as a visual artist who is all about expression too. And ultimately, I am also a person who is on a journey to discover who I really am and what is it that I want to express over the course of my entire life, which is what I call the capital V voice. What is it that you want to create over your lifetime that is a worthy and meaningful purpose for you, such that when you look back at the end of your life, which you will eventually get there, I mean all of us will, it's unavoidable. When you get to the end of your life, you can look back and say that you have really lived the life you always wanted, that you pursued whatever it is that really matters to you. And you can look back at this masterpiece that you've created, and it's like the song that you have been singing all your life, or the painting that you have been creating and working on and shaping all your life type thing. So that capital V voice essentially is what is it that you're trying to express over the course of your life, and this is intricately tied to our physical voice. Our physical voice is basically our primary means of expression, not just communication but expression, which also means emotions, um, you know, everything that we can't, that, you know, language just cannot encapsulate. like how I have a loss of words right now, because expression is so much more than just language. It's so much more than just speech. It's also your emotions, it's your inner state, it's the stuff that's going through your mind, it's I don't know, your spirit, your soul. There's just so much to humanity that even I am not aware of, and there's so much that I don't even know exists. But basically, when we are expressing ourselves with our voice, all of those things come through and not just your words. And so, with all of that we are constantly expressing in everything that we say, it also spills over into every other area of our life and what is it that we are doing. And so when we work on improving our expression in terms of our physical voice, we also inadvertently work on expression in every other area of our life as well, and getting more connected to who we truly are and what really matters to us. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments, or you can also message me through any of my links which are in the write-ups attached to these videos. And if you enjoy this series, do subscribe to my channel as well, because I'm gonna be putting out a vlog every single week, usually on a Monday. So as I was saying, our physical voice is basically intricately tied to the essence of who we are as a person, and whatever it is that we are trying to express over the course of our entire life, our capital V voice. It basically means that everything that stops you when it comes to expressing yourself with your physical voice are the exact same things that stop you in the way you live your life towards discovering your capital V voice or going after whatever it is that really matters to you. And don't even talk about pursuing your dreams and pursuing your passion, even just in our day-to-day life, even how we function in our relationships, how we function in our professional settings that we work in. The same barriers that come up in those settings are the exact same barriers that come up when it comes to our voice and our expression as well. It is all interrelated, and I can talk for hours on this subject, and I'm still learning a lot about this subject too, so I don't exactly know everything there is to know yet about how this is all interrelated, but essentially it is, and I have discovered that for myself as well. So for example, I have a thing called performance anxiety, and yes, many people have that too, to a different extent. And for me, when I need to perform a song in front of an audience, I immediately get nervous. I start to worry that, oh my gosh, you know, people are gonna judge me. What if I sing badly? Are they still gonna like me? So for me, there's a lot of, my performance anxiety has a lot to do with a fear of rejection from others, which basically forms the basis of most of my challenges and internal barriers in whatever it is that I do, the fear of rejection. So when it comes to singing and performing, I have a lot of anxiety around that. And what I started to notice when I started this singing journey, well, I've been singing since I was 13, but then I stopped for 3 or 4 years when I started pursuing my dream as a visual artist back in 2013. So when I stopped singing for those 3 to 4 years, there was a lot of things that I did not realize were connected back then until I came back into the singing journey again and have been going at it for the last since 2017, 2018, so it's been about 3 years now. And now I'm starting to see all these connections of how the performance anxiety that I have when I need to perform a song in front of an audience is the exact same anxiety that I feel when I also have to deliver a speech. And it's the exact same anxiety when I have to record a vlog or a video of myself. And yes, these may all be tied to a physical and verbal expression. How is that linked then to the other areas of my life, right? So when it comes to being an artist, as much as I enjoy showing my work, I have a performance anxiety around showing my work in an official art space. So like, a official art gallery versus, one where I rent the space and I do my exhibition. Working with a legit I guess that's my term for it. Working with a legit gallery, working with a art gallery, working with a renowned art gallery, for example, would give me a lot of anxiety because I start feeling that my work is not good enough. What if they don't see me as an artist and hence they reject me as an artist? And that would be like a total blow to my self-esteem. So the performance anxiety thing shows up even in this area of my life. And so this shows up also even when I need to do tasks with other people that I'm not familiar with, or maybe I have to lead a team to fulfill a certain task. There's a sense of performance anxiety around there as well. And the fear that if I mess it up, people would not want to work with me again. Things like that. Okay, so I started to realize that it's the exact same thing that I deal with in singing. It's the same thing in me showing my work in a gallery as an artist and me working with teams. And it all has to do with the fear of rejection from people. And I did not realize that until I actually started this singing journey once again. I started to see this thread that was in pretty much all areas of my life that has to do with people, other people being there and other people judging me. Definitely that's where the performance anxiety comes from. And so in the same way, whatever fears that you have around judgment, around humiliation, around anxiety, performing in front of people, these are the same things that show up in other areas of your life. Or like even if you think, another common one is like being not good enough. Like some people don't want to sing because they feel that their voice is not good enough. How does this also show up in other areas of their life where they would not want to do something because they think that they're not good enough at that, and so they would avoid doing that? And as a result, if a person is always avoiding doing something that they believe that they are not good at or they're not good enough at, then their world is actually it kind of starts to shrink because we can't be good at everything. And if we want to be good at something, we have to start as a beginner. We have to learn the basics. We have to struggle with it. We have to make mistakes. It is a very normal part of the process. And so a person who always fears that they're not good enough and therefore doesn't take action to do anything, they would always just stay stuck where they're currently at and not explore something outside of that. So this would stop them in their life too, not just in singing, but even in other areas of their life. So when we work on singing, when we work on your voice and we work on your ability to express yourself verbally, these barriers would automatically show up. It is unavoidable because they are a part of you, and they would be triggered in a context where you have to sing. For some reason, people feel okay when they are just speaking, but when it comes to singing, it's like, yeah. So whenever you're singing in one of our sessions or in front of an audience, these are the exact same things that will come up. And it is the process of doing it more often as well. It is also the process of understanding where it's coming from and learning how to take action to manage it better. Somehow along the way, it becomes easier also to deal with these same barriers in those other areas of your life. So having been on the singing journey again for the last 3 or 4 years, I discovered that I start to be better able to manage my performance anxiety. So that now when it's a group of friends, maybe 3 or 4 friends, and they want me to sing in front of them, it's no longer as frightening as it used to be. Like in the past, if people say sing, it's like, okay, I'll do it, and then I keep stalling, and then even when I sing, I kind of hold back a little bit because I'm fearful that I would sound bad and then they would reject me, which is my usual pattern. But now I've reached a point where I'm like, you know what? I'm not as nervous when it comes to a group of 3 to 4 people whom I know. Maybe if it's 3 or 4 strangers, it might be a little bit more scary, and then that's the next level of dealing with the performance anxiety. But being able now to sing in front of a small group of people, I realized that even when as a leader, if I'm working with a small team of people and leading them to do a task that I may not be very familiar with, but I've reached a point where I'm able to put that performance anxiety aside and get people together to do whatever it is that needs to be done. And this is something that I would always fumble before because I would fear that I'm not good enough as a leader and I would doubt my own capabilities. And now it's like, okay, it's not that big a deal anymore. It's not as difficult as it used to be. On the art side of things, I have reached a point now where I'm actually able to go to these art galleries, and not so much to show my work yet because I don't have any recent stuff to show them anyway, but more to get to know who are the people who work there, get to know the owners of the gallery, have conversation with strangers pretty much. When I first meet them, they're total strangers to me, but it's learning how to have a conversation with them and not be so nervous and anxious about how are they perceiving me and what do they think of me. The moment I say I'm an artist, like, would they start to judge me or something? Like, for some reason that there's a lot of performance anxiety around that, but I got to a point now where I'm able to just go and chill and talk to them. And then the next step would be to create a new series of work when it's ready and show them what I've been working on. But yeah, I start to realize that working on my singing, working on my voice allowed me to overcome performance anxiety in other areas of my life as well. And this is the same thing for you. Whatever your barrier is, as long as you start working on your voice, as long as you start singing even if it's just to me in our private voice coaching sessions, you don't have to sing to anyone else, but just the act of singing to me can make a huge difference for you in your life in terms of dealing with these barriers of yours that come up in other areas of your life as well. So if you have enjoyed today's video, subscribe to my channel on YouTube, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments, or you can also directly message me through any one of my social media links which are in the write-ups attached to these videos, and I will see you next week.